qualifications, get me out of here.
Oh, it's just that easy.
Just that easy.
So, did you have to have any music background? Did you have a musical background?
Now, back then it was in '83 before the label actually started. We didn't have the modern day technology that everybody has now. There was no such thing as social media. So it wasn't like you could send out an email blast because computers wasn't all that popular. You had the phone in front, the phone in front, the phone in front, the phone in front, the phone in front.
So, I'm glad you said something about technology. But how do you feel about technology with the young artists today? Because to me, they don't know anything about trenching. They don't know how to get out in the streets and carry on a conversation and talk about their music. Like I said, network. They don't know that because they push a button and their music can go out to the world. So how do you feel about it?
Modern day technology is cool, but it's also crippling people. Because like you said, you could push a button, but you're not the only one that's pushing the button. Somebody else is pushing the button that got better material than you. But if you started out from the early days, it was your talent that actually got you heard long before social media, long before IG and everything else. If you wasn't hot because you was hot, social media really can't make you something that you're not. You can be whatever you want to be when you're on social media. But then when it comes to your talent as well as your craft, when you perform it, people can see that you ain't hot.
Absolutely. And you talked about talent. No, I know one of your pet peeves is an artist that get up and perform and sing to the tracks.
It's not a performance.
Absolutely. I
Because
agree.
you
Totally.
gotta ask yourself, if you was going to a concert, are you paying 20, 50, $100, whatever you're paying for your tickets, or are you paying just to hear somebody's CD that you could have got from Walmart or Amazon? You actually paid to see somebody's performance. Then when you get off the stage, you quick to say that you did your thing, you shut it down. You ain't do nothing.
But sung to your track.
you ain't do nothing. And then, like, oftentimes when you lip syncing to your track, because it just happened a couple weeks ago when I was in Miami. Somebody stood on stage, lip syncing to their track. I stopped the performance, asked the young man, could he just do it a cappella? The young man said no. The young man's better half was going, do it, do it. He couldn't do it. Then when I asked him, could he freestyle? He still couldn't do it. Then when I demonstrated what a freestyle was, he still stood there looking dumb. But yet you want to be an artist. How can you be an artist when you don't have any art?
But, everybody, I think people that are really great in this industry make it look really, really easy. And a lot of artists don't realize how hard it is and how you have to stay rooted and grounded and work hard and invest in yourself. See, they don't know anything about that.
Artists nowadays just want you to give them something because they expect that you owe them something. Nobody don't owe you nothing. And there's no such thing as an artist getting a manager and they gotta pay the manager. You don't pay a manager. And a manager is not supposed to pay you. You don't go to your manager for studio time. You don't ask your manager for money for a haircut or an outfit. Go to work. Hustle. Get a better hustle because evidently whatever you're doing is definitely not paying off.
Well, a lot of artists don't really even know what the benefits of having a manager is. So can you just kind of break that down just briefly for us?
The benefit of having a manager is for somebody to give you a sense of structure, for somebody to make sure that you're recording your song inside a timely fashion, somebody to help you submit it to the Library of Congress, submit it to ASCAP, BMI, for your publishing. A manager is supposed to assist you in getting shows. A manager is not supposed to get you a show, they're supposed to assist you. And then once you get a show, your manager is supposed to confirm date, time, location, and how long your set is.
That's just like with me, with my TV show, Beaters and Bikers. We do like photo shoots, video shoots, and when the ladies get there, everything's already lined up for them because I've taken all the headache, I've taken all the burden, of things that they would have had to do, go through. So when they come, they just show up and be pretty. But they don't know like all the red tape that I've had to go through arguing with somebody, making sure this is here and things are where they're supposed to be for us before we get, before we start the shoots and stuff. So I definitely understand, what a manager is, even though I'm not a manager, but I am kind of a manager at that time because I'm managing us and making sure that, our best interest is at heart. Yeah. So tell me, like, I feel like we need to be charging for this information that you're giving everybody now because it's some vital information. But let me know, like, what do you look for in an artist? I know you look for originality.
I look for talent, originality, stage presence, somebody that knows how to command the crowd. Because you don't need to have 2 and 3 homeboys on stage just standing there. Those 2 or 3 friends, or 5, 6, 7 friends, they need to be inside the crowd, hyping up the crowd, spread out a little bit. So this way they can let the crowd know that they know what your music is. It goes to show that the artist does have some type of following, and then they're introducing your music to the crowd. So this way you get some new followers. But if you got a bunch of people on stage, you got a bunch of dead weight. Because whenever you go on tour, everybody that goes on stage, that's a deduction for whatever you was getting paid.
Absolutely.
Because the promoter paid you to be there. And if you had your rider, which is your incidental agreement as far as your food and drinks, whatever promoter was, they're only obligated to give you food and drinks. So when you ordering extra food, extra bottles because you got your entourage, all that get deducted for whatever pay you had. I can understand if it's a U plus 1, but that plus 2, 3, 4, and 5, no promoter want to have no type of extra surcharges.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you got a bunch of dead weight on stage because half the time your entourage don't even look the part. They're looking grungy. Like appearance is everything. How many times would you take your friend with you to a job interview? Because they're not going to sit there while you're being interviewed unless you're handicapped or disabled. Other than that, then you can't go into an interview with somebody else. Why you want to co-defendant every time you commit a crime?
Yep, you're absolutely right. Now, you said something about talent. And this is one of the things that I see when I'm doing artist showcases. Nobody has a show.
Nah, very seldom. Just because somebody come up with a hot rap and you borrowed the beat from off of YouTube or Instagram or like DatPiff, like on whatever other little social media websites is out there, that don't mean that your bars was hot and you just disrespected somebody's track.
Yeah, but even with them performing their songs, like, you've got to have something else that's gonna catch your eye. Like, you got somebody from Def Jam that can take you to another level in the building, and you're just gonna get up and sing your songs to your music. Like, you need to be singing like your life is, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the last time you're gonna sing.
Like, anytime somebody asks me to judge the event, I try to treat them like it's America's Got Talent. One of them little TV shows that I'm considered to be the Black Simon Cowell. Because I got no problem with stopping you if you're corny. I was born and raised in New York, from the streets of Queens, so my knuckle game is real good. So in case you felt offended, I really don't care. Because if you're not good, I'm not going to hype you up because your homeboy lied to you and told you that you was good. If you're not good, I'm just going to let you know you ain't good. Figure out something else to do. Real simple. And if you know how to write well, but you can't perform, then try to connect with somebody that got a better performance than you that can actually benefit from whatever it was that you wrote for.
Once again, everybody want to be in the limelight. Everybody want a TV show. Everybody want a podcast. Everybody want to be able to rap and do music and sing too as well. Because
everybody want to be inside the choir, but the pastor's not going to let everybody do a solo.
Right.
You was inside the background for a reason because you needed all the tenors, the altos, the sopranos next to you because you ain't sound too good.
Now you're here in Charlotte. You got an artist here with you as well.
Yes.
Like
2 of them.
You have 2 of them with you as well. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about your artists. I know I'm gonna meet them and I'm gonna get to chop it up with them as well. But what did you see in them? Because I know you don't work with everybody.
And then I seen raw talent. People that go from sun up to sundown, right? Thinking of new ways of writing music of content. They just not saying, I know how to rap and I'ma write. No, they're writing something to deliver a message. They bringing back the soulful sounds of hip hop. It's not based upon no type of corny hook. This ain't no ringtone jingle. It was music of substance. They delivering a positive message. It's supposed to have been another man on like a video conference to also partake in it. Yo from Buffalo, New York. But he had some personal issues and he was able to attend. But the two other people we met under weird circumstances, but the bar never built this way.
So, what type? No, they're artists as well.
Yes, conscious rappers. And they're giving you something to think about with their message. It's just not making a song because you can two-step to, but you can actually listen to the words of substance. Like, wow, I never looked at it like that particular way.
Right. Now, I normally don't ask you to name drop, but I just wanted you to let everybody know, just like some of the people that you may have worked with.
I myself, I'm a student of Grandmaster Caz, the very first ghostwriter. Worked with LL Cool J, Happy Birthday, which is today's his birthday. Great friend of mine since we was like 4 years old. From LL all the way up to 2 Chainz. Then I gotta give credit to Mighty Mike C from the Fearless 4, my extended Uncle Melly Mel from the Furious 5, so that you actually met. So I'm just not name dropping.
Right.
These are people that I actually know and love. So.
Absolutely.
And everybody murdered him.
Now, Mr. McGriff, do you feel like music today has been taunted? Like
there's really no such thing as music today. You just got a hot jingle because your song is hot right now, but then next week somebody else is cornier than you, but because they paid the payola to stay on the radio play, which other artists don't feel that they have to do. I ain't paying nobody nothing. That's why you don't get nothing.
So let me ask you this question in another direction, man. Like, what do you feel like the music from the artists today is missing? Because you started from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Like,
music nowadays is missing a positive message. Music nowadays is promoting negativity. Music nowadays is saturated. It's not based on nothing concrete. It's telling you how many Xans to pop, like how many perks you take in, what's good with Molly and lean, and you promoting everything that's not going to be beneficial, especially if you ever become a parent, a grandparent, or if you just want to be some type of positive influence to somebody else. You don't want to promote negativity, but at the same time you're trying to be positive. Those two, they don't coincide together. That's why God made God, and then you got Satan. Those two, they don't coincide, even though Satan was once up there. He has some wings, but he thought that he could do things his own way. So God said the gates is open and sent them right to the gates of hell.
Right. He rocks.
And basically.
Now, what can we look forward to from Mr. Wise McGriff in the near future?
A lot of constructive criticism every time that I go out to scout talent. Upcoming movie that's being financed by Warner Brothers Films on behalf of Irv Gotti, Visionary Ideas, which is the Supremacy movie. Kevin Lowndes gave the green light to do a foundational type movie that's called The Blueprint, which is going back to the essence of what hip hop was. It's showing that it wasn't social media. You had to run to the library and use the printer, like the little copy machine. You had to Xerox a whole bunch of stuff because it wasn't going to Staples and Kinko's and Office Max and Office Depot to get all these special flyers made up. It wasn't social media, so the Blueprint is going to go on the road, similar to what Dave Chappelle did with the Block Party. But instead of have everybody come to one particular area, the Blueprint actually wants to come to you. Because they want to know, what are you doing? What have you been doing? Because you got so many legendary pioneers that don't get the accolades that they deserve. Because now most people don't even know what they're doing. The Ice-T had kicked it off when he did the Art of Rap. And Ice-T went around different parts of New York to actually talk to the people that created the blueprint of this thing that's called hip hop. Most people don't know what the fundamentals of hip hop is. People think that hip hop is just some hot bars and a beat. Hip hop really started on 6 fundamentals. The very first thing that hip hop was hip hop started off with the graffiti. Graffiti was the first step of hip hop. After the graffiti, then you had the b-boy, the b-girls, you had the break dancers. Then you had the DJ. Then it became the MC. Then it became the crowd control. That's what an MC is. An MC is not a master of ceremony. An MC knows how to move the crowd. And then you had the beatbox, which was created by Dougie Fresh. So you got 6 elements of it that people don't know. They're like, what do graffiti got to do with hip hop? Because when you look at all them subways tag somebody's name. And those tags have made a mark in life as to exactly who you was. People don't know that the birth date of hip hop was August 11th, 1973. Most of the new school artists wasn't even born, wasn't thought about, but their parents didn't take the time out to want to teach them what the fundamentals was. You know, people don't know that one of the first documented DJs was actually Kool Herc, who's known as the father of new hip hop. But then at the same time, you had legendary DJs such as Jazzy J, such as the original DJ Hollywood. And then you had Grand Wizard Theodore, who was the father of Scratch, before you had Flash. Then you got the creator of Blends, which is Grandmaster Vic. Then you got the very first MC who really wasn't a rapper. He was like the Gil Heron, someone that just grabbed the mic and he stood next to a DJ. And his name was Coke LaRock. COKELAROC. Then you got the first female of hip hop, which was MC Shy-Rock. Then after Shy-Rock, then you had MC Debbie D. But Shy-Rock, that's the mother of saying rap, as far as rap is concerned. She was part of Us Girls before she was the first female that was there with Funky 4+1 More, which was founded by Little Rodney C. Real name is Rodney Stone, Angie Stone's first husband. Angie Stone is on her 3rd husband, but she still carries that man's last name. That right there says a lot.
Oh, definitely. Look, you definitely enlightened me on a lot of things that I did not know.
I mean, you had the chance to hang out with cats, took pictures, private conversation.
Yes.
So I gotta say that I'm honored just to be his friend.
And I'm honored just to have the opportunity, because, you know, a lot of people looked at my pictures and wished that it had been them, you know, but I was
They got the
actually living at
opportunity. They got the opportunity to come out and party and play, but they thought that Doc was supposed to pay expenses for them to get to New York. They thought that Doc and Lady D, who got, I definitely can't forget Miss Diane. They thought that yo was supposed to foot the bill, supposed to buy people VIP tickets. Why? You're not obligated to it. You actually did that for the winner of the contest, and y'all came out and just had a great time.
Yeah, we did. We had a really great time. Like I said, once again, I can't thank you enough. And I'm sure that this is just the beginning of the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
But leave us with something, because I'm ready to get your artists over here so we can chop it up and let them know that, you know, let our viewers know what is about to be presented to the world. Because they got some new releases coming out, right?
Yes, they definitely got one asking for help, which is what people are scared to do. They're scared to ask for help because they feel that everything is supposed to be given to them. They don't have to work for it. They ain't got to grind. Just gimme. I mean, anyone that's hungry, a closed mouth don't get fed. You know, so there's nothing wrong with asking for help that you ever need.
I definitely thank you. And I look forward to working with you more and more and more, okay?
Looking forward to it, Doc. Thank you for having me.